Amanda Power planned her own funeral. She even said goodbye to close friends before telling them she was going into palliative care. Problem was, Amanda was lying. And what's worse, she was cashing in on her fake terminal cancer.
Amanda Power. Chris Allen from A Current Affair. Just wondering if I could ask you a few questions, Amanda.
Who does that? Like, what type of person does that? Sorry, it's just...
How are you feeling? Are you well?
I've got somewhere to go, I'm sorry. I could not believe what I was hearing. That someone who we had known for this long and done so much for had just played us the entire time.
Do you have cancer, Amanda? Have you ever been diagnosed with cancer? 4 years ago, Amanda Power told her friends she was dying of cancer.
She sat me down and said, look, it's everywhere now. There's nothing that can be done.
Gemma Doyle says she couldn't believe what she was hearing.
When she told us everything was like, that's it, I can't go on, I've got to go into palliative care. And we're like, all of us are just like, oh my God, like what's happening?
When I received that phone call, I could not believe what I was hearing.
Carly Whittington was another friend devastated by the news of Amanda's imminent demise.
So that whole day we had spent talking about her and just thinking, oh my gosh, I hope she's feeling better now and I hope that she's going to be okay. Because at that point we still thought she was just really sick.
Some of your friends say that that's what you've told them. Is that the case?
The biggest thing was why me? Like, why did she pick me all those years ago to be her friend?
Jess Snell has known Amanda for 14 years. Amanda was maid of honour at Jess's wedding.
You never question somebody that has cancer and is dying. You never believe that somebody would be low enough to make up that.
Amanda Power's story starts here in Townsville, the Catholic schoolgirl growing up in this city in far north Queensland. Friends say when Amanda was a teenager, her parents separated and she became estranged from her family. Not long after, Amanda very publicly announces she's battling cancer, even becoming the face of cancer fundraisers. It was a story she maintained for almost a decade.
She's selfish. She hurt me. She, from what I've heard, has been able to live her life normally since it all happened and just forget about everything where I've struggled.
Jess Snell says she met Amanda when she first moved to Townsville. The two worked together and became friends.
Told me that she had cervical cancer and whatnot, but wouldn't let me come to appointments, or if she had surgeries, wouldn't let me come to the hospital to pick her up.
The thing that sort of, now that I look back, that didn't seem right was that she was always driving herself to these appointments, and she actually was firm on not wanting any help in that area.
Carly Whittington became friends with Amanda after interviewing her for a university assignment when Amanda was the spokesperson for Relay for Life, a legitimate cancer fundraiser. Here's Amanda talking on local TV around that time.
Last year, Townsville Relay raised just under $300,000 to contribute to the fight against cancer.
She was loved for it because she was a survivor, so she knew what they were all going through.
Her friends say Amanda went on to work for the Queensland Cancer Council and became a poster girl for the charity.
They actually sent her over to overseas for talking to the States, paid for everything, because she was in remission from cancer and all this sort of thing.
In this Facebook post, Amanda speaks glowingly about her trip. Speaking to over 1,000 people was something I never thought I'd be able to do, but it was the best feeling in the world. Amanda goes on to talk about visiting Disneyland, the Grand Canyon, Las Vegas and San Francisco. Then 5 days later, she's telling her friends, I've received 2 counts of terrible news in relation to a cancer diagnosis and an unfortunate relapse.
There was times there where it was better, but then all of a sudden it would come back worse, and she would have to go in for surgeries or she would have to take time off work.
But Amanda's friends say there were some things that didn't add up, like things happening when no one was in sight. You'd find her on the floor.
Can I just cut in there, Chris? Or when we were not around. We would come home and
Find her.
Yep. Or if we were home, it'd be in the bathroom and you'd hear a thud.
She would collapse in our bathroom and we wouldn't hear her hit the floor, but I can hear my 2-year-old son fall out of bed. So towards the end, she would have crutches. Like my hen's weekend, we hired her a wheelchair. She would come to our house and I would hire the wheelchair.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
This is Amanda at Jess's hen's party not long after she told her friends she was dying. As a result of the bad news, friends say Amanda created a bucket list of things she wanted to do, calling it Powers 30 before 30, and her friends set about making it happen.
One of those items was a trip to the Whitsundays, which there was 4 of us girls and we paid for that out of our own pocket, and really wanted to make that a fantastic trip for her. We went to Whitehaven Beach and thought that we were doing a great thing for her, and meanwhile the whole time she was getting a free holiday.
And one of the items on that bucket list was for her to be able to walk down the aisle at my wedding.
Jess says instead of buying a house, she and her fiancé came up with the cash for a wedding, just so Amanda could be there. The 2 women even got matching tattoos.
Because she was dying, she was in the middle of all of our photos. All of our day was about her. We made sure that where our wedding was, she could walk down the aisle.
The 3 friends say they all spent money looking after Amanda. Carly even gave her cash. They say Amanda also set up an online fundraiser to help with her treatment and her bucket list.
She would often share that link to social media, updating people saying, this is my latest update, things aren't going well, if you'd be able to support me through this, here's the link if you're able to donate any money.
So she was clearly asking for help.
That's right.
Financial help.
Yes.
But things unravelled when Amanda took herself to hospital, saying she was going into palliative care. At the time, she was living in Brisbane with Gemma, who called the hospital to see how Amanda was.
I must have sounded like the crazy woman because I rang and I said, after Amanda Power, she's going into palliative care. She went into palliative care this morning. Sorry, I don't have a patient by that name.
Nobody could contact her or anything like that because she had already planned her funeral, she had planned everything like that.
Gemma called police, who found Amanda not long after.
They took her straight to a psych hospital. So the psych nurse asked her if she had cancer, and she told the psych nurse straight out that she didn't have cancer.
Gemma says a doctor asked to speak to her in person after Amanda confessed she didn't have cancer.
What do you mean? No. And he goes, she doesn't. There's no ounce of evidence that she has cancer.
And I just collapsed to the ground, and I just wanted the ground to come apart.
Did disbelief turn to anger?
Disbelief, shock, and then definitely anger.
Why would someone lie to their friends about having a disease like that, Amanda? Can you explain that to us? When we caught up with Amanda, she looked well, didn't need a wheelchair or a walking stick as she went shopping. What do you think you would say to her if you ran into her now?
I don't think I'd say anything. I think I'd do something. I don't know. I want to know why. Just why.
And why do you think she did it?
I think it was attention. I think she was seeking attention.
Last September, Amanda Power was charged with 9 counts of fraud, totalling almost $13,000. Police alleging Amanda dishonestly obtained funds from 7 people and the Cancer Council, where she was employed. You're an ambassador for the Cancer Council, Amanda? How did you manage to convince everyone that you were sick, if that's not the case? Amanda, there's nothing you'd like to tell us about this?
And the Cancer Council maintains it has a long and proud history of supporting all people impacted by cancer. As this case is before the courts, it can't comment further on Amanda's matter. And if you have any information that might help police, please call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. That's 1800 333 000.